This is WCKB, your Benson studio. You're listening to the Medlin with Music show, originating in WCKB's The Benson studio. Glad to have you along today. Hope you'll enjoy some of the records we're going to play on Medlin with Music, Town and Country Time, Part 1.
Doing their part all along. Then in the springtime there was a demand for help on the farm, and the farmer's wife had to take the babies to the field, set them under a bush in a cracker box maybe while they hoed up and down the rows of cotton and wheat and so on. She imagined that the children were often left with the nurse in town while the mothers made the round of the card parties and receptions or other social functions. She said she didn't know about these things, but she had read about them. They, the city sisters, could send the nurses into the country to help, she wrote, and attend to their own children. They could do their own cooking and send the cooks to the farm to help, where they were really much needed for farm work, to raise food. He believed that there were thousands of men and women who were having a good time just as if there was no war at all. It makes me tired, she said, to read a piece of advice to the farmer's wife. Then she went on to list her many chores for the day. Finish breakfast, clean the house, milk the cow, do the churning, feed the chickens and the pigs. Why, the woman said the farmer's wife would take to the field then after all of this until about 11 o'clock, when she'd have to take up and go to the house for it was time to cook for plowhands who'd soon be in for dinner. Wash days, she said, came when it was too wet to work. And ironing, well, they did that on Saturday afternoon. This the good farmer's wife wrote entitled her to the privilege of her meat and biscuit, if they raised it. If anyone had to do without it, let it be the people who hadn't worked. If all the nurses and maids and butlers, chauffeurs and corner loafers, she went on to say, either went to the task of growing food or went to war, then there'd be plenty to eat at home and plenty of people to win the war too. The whole story was signed simply a farmer's wife, and we'd say quite an educated farmer's wife, wouldn't you? Maybe you'd agree with it. It was just a letter to the people written in the newspaper, carefully clipped and saved and pasted in Grandmother's scrapbook. Then there was a letter, too, from Sergeant H.V. Rose, who was always interested in everything. He saw everything he saw, sure, but always if it concerned his own Johnston County. He says that he gets his copy of the Smithfield Herald promptly in France and is keeping right up with how things are going here in Johnston County. He was well pleased with the legislature of 1919, what they'd done in education and about roads. Two things he said the county must have: good roads and a 6-month school term. He predicted some really fine improvements in the decade ahead across the whole state. And Johnston County, he predicted, would get a good share in the state's improvement. The Bone Dry Amendment was spoken of in the letter. Many people had said that it was unfair to pass the Prohibition Amendment with so many servicemen out of the country not voting. Mr. Rose thought that it was a wise move and was glad that Johnston County had its house in order when the guest of Prohibition came. He said he'd grown prouder and prouder of his country's flag and uniform as he had observed the conduct and bearing of the men of other nations during the war. He said he had observed the conduct and bearing of the American armies, and that the American men had respect and honor wherever they went, and wherever its flag was seen. He felt that the spirits, the bottled ones, were just as well left over there by the boys when they returned, as many of them already had. Many Johnston County boys, Sergeant Rose wrote, were with the Wildcat, or 81st Division, a real outfit, which would probably not be returned home before the latter part of the summer of 1919. There you had it, another edition of Grandmother's Scrapbook, transcribed from the records of Mrs. Ed Dorman in the Benson Studio.